Hello, what's up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am here to review and talk about the 5th Die Hard movie. It was not a part of my Ultimate Collection Edition for whatever reason, but I have it separately. A Good Day to Die Hard is a 2013 film that was directed by John Moore, and the plot is we follow Bruce Willis, of course, as John McClane. And John McClane, he finds out that his son Jack has been in Russia doing some criminal activities. He's been caught, about to await trial, and it just does not look good for his son. So he goes to Russia to figure out what's going on. When he finds his son, he realizes that his son has been a spy working undercover, trying to do this operation. It all goes to shit. So McClane and his son, they have to work together to go up against these mob guys and protect this one guy who has a file and all of this stuff. Now, what I think of A Good Day to Die Hard is, I remember when I first saw this in the theater, and I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. I thought the action was cool, and I loved seeing Bruce Willis as this character, so I enjoyed the film. And then I saw the overwhelming response online, not just from critics, but I'm talking about the fans. The fans hated this movie. I mean, tore it apart, ripped it to shreds, and they just, like, almost nobody liked it. And I was surprised. I'm like, am I the only one who had fun with it? So many years later, rewatching it, I still enjoy the movie. I do. But it's certainly not my favorite Die Hard movie. It's not even my favorite Die Hard sequel. It's just, it is what it is. But let's talk about Bruce Willis as John McClane, because I still like Bruce Willis as this character. Sure, he's older now, and some people would say that he's maybe phoning it in a little bit, or he's mostly playing himself versus McClane, but it's almost hard to tell where does Bruce Willis stop and John McClane begins, because he still has his one-liners, he still is a little charismatic, he still tells some jokes, although I could go without him saying that he's on vacation another 5 or 6 times. It was funny the first 2, but he says it so many times, it's like, okay. You have Jai Courtney. Let's talk about Jai Courtney, who plays Jack, aka John McClane Jr. And Jai Courtney, I don't mind him as an actor. I don't love him as an actor. I do agree with people who say that he's bland and boring and doesn't show a whole lot of personality, but I also don't hate the guy. It's not really his fault that movie studios, at least at this time, was continuously shoving him down people's throats and trying to make him this new lead hot actor. I think he's shown better range in later years, more recent years. I just think here the problem is that when you first meet him, he does come off bland and boring. You don't really see the lineage of him being a McClane at all. He doesn't really have a personality, doesn't really tell jokes. Like, you want to see McClane's son be just as charismatic, if not more charismatic, and be likable. He comes off very unlikable, and they do this whole thing of Jack doesn't like his father, doesn't even call him dad, he calls him John, and they have this dysfunctional relationship, and McClane is trying to get through to his son, but it's not working. Oh, you were never there for me. It's like, well, didn't we already go through this with the daughter in the last movie? But the difference was, at least the daughter was still likable, or at least you understood her point of view a little bit more. You don't really know why Jack is being this much of a dick, especially this many years later. I think it would have been more interesting if maybe they tease at the beginning that maybe his son has gone rogue or has done all of these despicable things, and McClane's going to go there to stop him or try to save him, and that probably would have been a more interesting movie, right? If McClane goes to Russia or goes to wherever, and his son actually is a criminal, actually is doing messed up things and killing people, maybe even being a terrorist, McClane has to go up against his own son. You make it personal, you really make this emotional for McClane, and having him struggle with the fact of, like, can I save him? Can I bring him back from this? Or do I have to kill him? Like, that just sounds fascinating. I don't know why they didn't go in that route, but they didn't. The villains, well, we have this one guy, Sebastian Koch, as Komorov, And he's a guy that Jack is somewhat protecting because he has a file that these mobsters want. It's evidence for whatever. And okay, he's really just focused on protecting his daughter. His daughter is played by Yulia Singer. This actress, she's Russian, so I haven't seen her in a whole lot of things, but she's hot as hell. She is. So she has that going for her. Is she a great actress? I don't know. I don't really care. She was hot. Now the main villain is Alec, played by Rajiv Bukovic. I totally butchered his name. How can you expect me to pronounce these names right? But he's the main villain. They try to give him a personality, like when they have Bruce Willis and Jai Courtney tied up and he's doing this dance number to like kick away their guns, and they try to just, I get it, they try to give him personality. They try to make him at least not one-dimensional. More personality than Timothy Olyphant had in the last movie, I will admit that. But ultimately, he's a nothing villain. He doesn't really pan out to anything, especially when you get towards the end of the film. Random characters, like you have Cole Hauser as Collins, who's this FBI guy working with McClane's son, and he's here for one scene, practically a cameo, and then gets shot in the head and is gone. Like, why did you cast Cole Hauser as that? I remember years and years ago where Cole Hauser was in a few movies where he had big roles or played main villains of films, and I just wonder, like, now, why is he reduced to like something like this? This short scene to get killed off. Like, why isn't he playing a villain in a Die Hard movie? I think he could do a good job doing that, but that was wasted. You get Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Lucy McClane. When I popped this in just now, and this is the extended cut. So they give you the choice to watch the theatrical or the extended cut. So I naturally put in the extended cut to watch right now. And watching it, there's a scene where McClane gets driven to the airport, but the extended cut just shows the car and him getting out, and that's it. And I said to myself watching it, wait a minute, wasn't there a scene with Mary Elizabeth Winstead when she drove him to the airport? Why did that not happen? So then I took it out, switched it over to the theatrical, and sure enough, yes, that scene, there is a scene of her driving him there, having a nice conversation with him, and them bonding, and her worrying for her brother and her father. Like, why did they take that out? It's like some of the worst extended versions of a movie ever. An extended version where you take scenes out, you take out a character, a major character to the series, his daughter. Like, who doesn't like Mary Elizabeth Winstead to take her out of the movie? That is absurd. And there's even a scene at the end. It's a nice scene of the three of them, the whole family together, really for the first time, if you think about them being older and the fact that they brought her back. And that scene is cut out of the extended cut. That ending's not there. Bullshit. I really don't understand why they would do that. The setting of being in Russia, I do like. It's something different. Maybe it sounds gimmicky and whatnot. The point where you get to them in Chernobyl and the bad guys are able to mechanically tune down the radiation so they don't need masks and suits, and that's kind of laughable. It's like you can't just easily take away the amount of nuclear radiation that's in Chernobyl. Like, come on. But they do it, and the action in this movie, action galore, I should call it. There's so much action, it's almost overwhelming. I could see why people say that this movie is more about the action than the actual story, and maybe the story isn't strong. I get that, but the action is crazy. The car chase scene that they have near the beginning of the movie, I think, is insane. So much action, so much chaos and destruction, and then throughout the movie, when McClane and his son jump out of the window of the building, there's some cool shots. Like, even if you don't like the movie, like if you take certain stills or certain images, certain frames of when McClane and his son are falling down through the floors of the building and the helicopter's exploding outside behind them, and that's just a cool looking shot. Does it feel like maybe a Michael Bay movie or something? I could see why people don't like it. I do. but I can't bring myself to hate it. I guess it's just I've seen shittier movies, maybe. I don't know. I'm way too forgiving, I guess. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of A Good Day to Die Hard? Do you at least understand why I enjoy it, or do you think it just flat out sucks? And that's okay. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!